Good day, traders. Stacey Burke from Stacey Burke Trading. Daily currency levels for the British pound crosses Thursday, May 21st. On our economic calendar at 3:15 a.m. New York Eastern Standard Time, we have the French Flash Services PMI. And at 3:30, we have the German Flash Manufacturing PMI. 9:45 a.m. New York Eastern Standard Time, we have the U.S. Flash Manufacturing PMI. Looking at our pound Aussie again, yesterday a fairly big day down. We eclipsed the high of the Tuesday session, the Tuesday bar, for a big move down, doing a measured move yesterday, hitting stops, and also one full expansion of our upper rectangle. We're currently still possibly headed towards filling a second expansion of the monthly high-low rectangle measured move on the 1, 2, 3 at the beginning of the month. This market has briefly pulled back from the big move down yesterday to the lower 250 pip box towards the 8,500 level. When we look at our 4-hour chart, if we scrunch this chart up, we can see stops have been cleared out from back in December and January 2019. We still have stops down further below this, but we did have a fairly big run the last couple days. There are stops underneath the 8540 level towards the 8500 level, and again there are stops even further below that at the below 8250. But again, just coming back, we have a 2-bar pattern in that lower part of the box and a breakout of that, not quite a tweezers, but we do have a breakout of that lower pattern, and we may see a bit of a retest back towards the breakout level from earlier in the week at the 8630 level. However, this market may be prone to retest the 8500 level. We look at that move down yesterday and the pullback in the US session on the 1, 2, 3 for the measured move down. They've come back inside of that last swing low and also broken outside of the rectangle from the pins, the 2 pins that presented. We're currently trading sideways on top of that. We have stops below the low of the day. We had an engulfment earlier at the end of the Asian session, but the market has since pulled back on top of that. So depending on how this Europe Open proceeds, we may see a stop hunt high. We could possibly see the market working that high of the day for a continuation back through the session highs of the US and back towards the London shorts yesterday. We'll just put in our stops sitting all up at this level. However, if this market was to work the high and break through the lows of the day, we could see a continuation of that move back down through the lows of the day and through yesterday's lows, possibly again for a measured move down to that 8500 level of this upper rectangle. Currently sideways between 8600 and 8575, and again sitting on top of that double pin, which could form a rectangle for a continuation of that long move back towards the highs of yesterday's US session. Up next is our pound Canadian. Again, on our daily chart, this market has made a 1-bar reversal on Tuesday and currently not quite an engulfment. We've come back yesterday and sitting sideways at the 7,000 level. This market possibly, if it was to take out the lows, could perform a measured move down. And again, we had that upper rectangle measured box taking us around the 6860 level. And again, we have stops below the lows back in March, down around the 6540 level. So again, currently showing quite a degree of weakness. This market has the presentation of possibly doing a measured move. So again, if we went 50%, this market possibly has the capacity, if it was to continue down, moving towards that 6630 area. Again, not predicting, just following the price action. And again, yesterday we looked at our 4-hour chart. We can see that there are quite a few stops, not much to stop it if it does break through that lower level. again, that 68.25, 68.30 level. There are stops, and there's not much to stop this market if it does start to fall through there. When we look at our 15-minute chart, our Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, we can see is in a large rectangle after the move down. So breaking out of this range of Monday, Tuesday's lows below the that double zero level of 6,000, this market has the potential to obviously pick up some steam if it does break down through this lower area for a pullback off the round numbers and possibly a continuation down. Currently sideways, just auctioning around the 7,000 level. We did have a breakdown after the engulfment at the high of the day this morning, currently sitting underneath of that, and the box has been split, so it's possible we may see a pullback for a continuation back through these lows. Again, if this market was to break above this lower swing high, we could retest the highs of the day, but currently we are still inside of that micro trend line. If this market does squeeze and break down, we could see a fairly strong move following through and possibly falling again through those stops in the lower levels. Up next is our pound Swiss. Again, this market pulled back briefly on Tuesday, 1-2 back against the move down. We have that, still have that measured movement intact. If this market takes out Tuesday's low, this market could follow through that next range expansion level at the 1635 area. Again, there are stops down lower at the 1500, lower part of the 250 pip box. This market has got just to test the numbers at 1750 as well as the low of Tuesday. And again, we could be in for a measured move unless that market finds some support in that area. The 4-hour chart, again, you can see was clearly one strong move up, and we've fallen from that area and continue to look fairly weak. The next area is that 1750 level and the lows of the week at 1728. If this market falls through that area, there's nothing really to stop it until the gap from the breakout trade at 1636. Again, looking at our 15-minute chart, you can see the weekly template very clearly demonstrated on the pound Swiss. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, level 1, level 2, level 3, before dropping down and consolidating sideways underneath the last low before the high, and then trading off of that yesterday, falling through the stops, clearing out levels all the way down through into Monday's, inside of Monday's range. We are currently trading inside of Monday. This market is taking out stops as we speak and testing the lower area of the 25 pip box at 1775. Again, 1750 and 1725, the lows of the week. Again, we have a micro trend line intact on this pair as well, and the box has been split from this morning's open, currently trading underneath. We could see a pullback towards this swing high, and again a squeeze inside of that micro trend line for a move back down through the lows inside of Monday's London session. Currently just taking out the stops from the lower swing low, but again this market is demonstrating a large degree of weakness. We could still get a 1, 2, 3 back for the stop hunt at the London Open or even in the Europe Open for that move, measured move back down and testing the lows of the week. Next up is our pound yen. And again, our daily, the same situation, a 1-2 pullback to the numbers. Stop hunting traders from the breakout last week on the 1, 2, 3. This market is rolling over from the inside bar yesterday. It's got inside bar traders in the market. We are still on top of Tuesday's range. So again, this market could find support somewhere in that, upper bracket from 130.90, 130.100 area. But there are stops down below the low of the week at 129.30, and of course that 130.000 level could act as support as well. Again, trend line break on our 4-hour chart, coming up to the numbers before selling off yesterday. Currently still falling. Again, we could retest this 3100 level, possibly even come back to test the 130,000 level and even the lows of the week. Right now we are in a down market, but this market came back a fair degree. That's a big pullback. We may find some support somewhere in this 130-100 area. But when we look at our 15-minute chart, again, you can see the weekly template, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. The upper rectangle, if this market was to continue to fall, potentially has a measured move to bring this market somewhere in the area of 3050, 13050. Now again, this is just a measured move. If the market does continue to fall, we're sitting on top of Monday's highs. So there could be a degree of auctioning, but if it falls back inside of Monday's range, clearing this second full expansion at 131.11, we could see this market continue to fall. When we zoom in a bit closer, we can see that stops were taken out yesterday. We've consolidated sideways underneath of the breakdown of yesterday's low, currently trading sideways and testing the lows of the day. Again, we could see a pullback in that Europe or London Open to stop hunt traders at the swing highs. We have a micro trend line that's intact, but this market is demonstrating a great degree of weakness. If it was to come down to the 200 and come back up, we could see a breakout of this 131.75, 3200 area, again for a retest of the highs of the day, but currently auctioning sideways underneath of the breakdown from this morning, inside of the micro trend line, and again we're inside of Monday's range, testing that Asian session. Next up is our pound New Zealand. Big day yesterday, dropping down a fair amount and then pulling back. We broke through the 2.000 level yesterday, just sitting on top of the stops from the lows of March. The big day yesterday, breaking down for a measured move. Then on our 4-hour chart, we can see the markets drop through that 2.000 level, taking out stops. We have stops underneath as well as range expansion levels. But again, that 97.50 level possibly could be a target if this market was to continue to move down. To see any degree of pullback, we'd probably want to see this pull above the 2.000 level. But currently we're underneath of that second full expansion, and we could see it retest the lows and head towards that 97.75. Sideways in the 15-minute chart, still inside of yesterday's lows of the day. Again, the market is working the low. We could see this market break higher and test the U.S. session swing highs. If it was to get some strength and find some support above 99.50, we could retest the 2.000 level and possibly even the highs of the swing session in the U.S. session last night. And last up, our pound USD. Again, similar 1-2 pullback inside bar and taking inside bar traders in. We're following that micro trend line down. We could get a retest of the lows where we have stops below the low of the week at 20.75. On our 4-hour chart, we can see again very similar. The market auctioned up to 22.50, going sideways and giving us an engulfment and a bear hammer before selling off. We do have a bit of a micro double top pattern in place, and again not much to stop this until the lows of the week at 20.75. On our 15-minute chart, again this market demonstrating a large degree of weakness. We have that upper rectangle box. The market broke out of it this morning in the Asian session, continues to trade lower as we do this, and again we are inside of Monday's range. This market, if it was to continue to fall, we could see a stop hunt back up into the box, but possibly rolling off the 2200 level, taking out the lows of Tuesday's swing low, and possibly even heading down towards the breakout traders from the U.S. session. Currently, this market is heading down, and we have a micro trend line that is intact. And just in closing, traders, a little quote from Bruce Kovner: novice traders trade 5 to 10 times too big, and they are taking 5 to 10% risk on a trade they should be taking 1 to 2% risk on. Stay disciplined, and may the markets go with you.
Hi traders, it's Stacey Burke from Stacey Burke Trading. If you haven't done so, please head over to my website at StaceyBurkeTrading.com. I create updates on almost a daily basis, and I would love for you to receive them. Just click on the blog. If you want to enter your name and your email address, I'll send you my free audio program, the 7-Step Daily Routine for High-Performance Traders. This is essential knowledge for all traders in all markets, and this is for helping traders to master the market with discipline, confidence, and a winning mindset. I appreciate all your feedback and comments. As always, traders, stay disciplined, and may the markets go with you.